Hello, all you lovely people out there. Welcome to the Pestforce webinar. And what's it all about, Paul? That's a picture of me. Must have been taken a few years ago. I look a lot younger then in that photograph, and it looks like the sun had been out because I'm a bit browner than I am today. It's flipping freezing here in Henley. Hope it's better where you are. So, what is it all about? Today we're going to talk about Pestforce, and basically I'm going to give you a bit of history about the Pestforce brand, the Pestforce franchise, how the Pestforce franchise works, what we do, how we do it, what you do, and how you do it. Kind of what does it involve? You know, a bit about the induction, the training, sales, and the marketing, running a business, a bit of the day in the life of the Pestforce franchisee, and I'm really going to be giving you the sort of rundown, the lowdown from how we see it. But at the end, I'm going to spend 3 or 4 minutes just showing you some video of franchisees and what they've said about the franchise, how they found it, why they joined it, and maybe some of that will resonate with you. Those are the case studies. And if you're still around at the end, we've got a webinar bonus, but I've got an extra special bonus offer for you today, which Gail bullied me into putting into the webinar this afternoon. I didn't need much persuading because it means that we can make a great offer, get another great franchisee into the business, perhaps with a brilliant offer. So by the end of the webinar, you should understand better. And if you don't, please give Gail a shout. You've probably got her phone number, but if not, I will be showing it and her email address at the end of the webinar. So if there's anything you've missed or you don't understand, please give Gail a shout. She's here all day tomorrow. I've tied her to a desk so she can't get away tomorrow, so she'll be able to answer all your questions. Understand a bit more about the business and the business model, what it could be like to be a franchisee. It's bloody hard work. I won't lie to you. It is not easy. Being your own business owner, being in business for yourself is not straightforward. I've been doing it for 10 years and I've had all the highs and plenty of lows at the same time. So it's not a smooth journey. You've got to work hard, you've got to work really smart, and you've got to have the determination and some real dedication to make it work. How you can build your great business with us. Now, I'll stress that again. You are a business owner in this business, so you are using and sharing the brand, the support, the knowledge, the systems, the processes that we have in the Pestforce brand, and using them to build your own business with our great support from the team we've got here in Pestforce head office. A little bit about the money, because obviously whilst you may be doing it because you want to change your life, you want to take more control, or whatever it is, that is your motivation for looking at the Pestforce franchise, you probably need to earn money. We all do. We've all got bills to pay, and we've all got things that we need to or want to enjoy. And that's part of jumping out of what might be a nice, comfortable, employed, salaried position right now into running your own business. What do we do? How do we support you? Because if it was dead easy, everybody would be doing it. You'd be rushing off down to your local pest control supplier, getting a bunch of kit and cracking on your own. But whilst that isn't out of the question, and of course you can do that, what we're doing here is showing you how we support your business. And you've probably read the prospectus or spoken to Gail already about how this works, but I'll cover it again in a little bit of detail. And this could be for you, and if it is, great. We'll talk to you again at some point, maybe in a one-to-one or over the phone. But for some people, it's just not for them. It really isn't. If you don't like getting up, doing a hard day's work, being in control of your life, worrying about being paid, making sure you do a great job, loving your customers, it's not for you. But if you can do all those things, then you're already halfway there, because the mindset and the attitude that you bring into this business is 50 to 60 to 70, maybe even 80% of what makes you succeed. So, think about your motivation. Are you the kind of guy that needs a boss to tell him what to do every day, or are you the kind of guy or lady who can run their own diary, who can do all those things with a sort of spring in their step? And that comes from having a motivation. So I want you to really think during this next half hour to 40 minutes why you want to do this, and only then will you really understand if this can be something that A, you'll enjoy, and B, you'll do well at, because those two things have to go together. So you probably already know we've got a process. We don't just bring anybody in who can afford to buy the franchise. Gail was giving me the stats the other day, and we talked to about 100 people, or have inquiries from about 100 people. See between 12 and 15 of those people on a one-to-one to every franchisee that we engage into the business. So, you don't just have to have a pulse and a checkbook to join Pestforce. You've got to have all of the things that we're looking for in a franchisee, and I'll cover a little bit more of that off in a short while. So we're at a very early stage. We are, you've probably downloaded the information pack. You may even have done stage 3 and had a telephone chat with Gail. But as you can see, out of the 9 steps, we're at a very early stage to give you the idea of whether this might be for you, and eventually to find out for us whether you might be for us, because this is a two-way process. It's not just about you wanting to join us and having the money to join us and the will and the determination. We've got to be convinced that you're going to be a good franchisee. And by that, I don't mean, are you going to be nice? Are we going to get on with you? Are we going to enjoy a laugh and a beer together? I mean, are you going to be successful? Because I want you, and everybody here wants all of our franchisees to be successful. So making sure we bring the right people into the business makes that happen, and means we get good people into the business. That strengthens our business. It means that when I go out talking, like I have been over this last week, to potential national customers, that I can stand there and say that we've got the very best people in our business who are determined to deliver great customer service, and I can really stand behind that and mean it. So very early in the process. It's not a long process. Typically it's from coming to see us. If you were to come and see us for a one-to-one, it would be about 6 to 8 weeks for you to get on board. We can do it a little bit quicker if we need to, and more of that a little bit later, but that's the typical kind of timescale. So who is Pestforce? Well, we've been around for 10 years as a franchise, started by a guy called Paul Wilkinson over in the east of England. He was doing pest control for about 15 or 20 years, and then thought that it'd be great to share his knowledge, share his passion for the business, and turn the Pestforce brand into a franchise. So that's what he did 10 years ago. I became involved in the business in 2013, and the Forces Group took the Pestforce brand on, and we're now one of the largest independent pest control businesses in the UK. Well, so what, you say? Well, so what? It's actually quite interesting for national customers. So we've got customers with 800-900 outlets around the UK, and having a large independent network of very positive, very determined, very passionate business owners to deliver our pest control service is actually quite a big thing to some of these customers. And increasingly, I'm finding that these customers are loving the whole Pestforce vibe, if you like, if you want to sort of bring it into a very funky kind of method of discussing it and describing it. They love the fact that our guys are independent business owners, are invested in the business, because that really gives you guys as franchisees the will and the determination to deliver a great customer service. And you've probably had a look at our website. If you have a look, you'll see we've got over 1,300 positive testimonials from service delivery that we've carried out over the last year or so. None of those are fake, and we don't not put on any bad reviews that we get. We get the odd one, I won't lie to you. Some people, we just can't please everybody, and every now and again it goes wrong. But we've got 1,300 and odd positive reviews. I think in the time I've been in the business, we've probably had about 8 or 10 complaints. but we deal with them. And the 60 franchisees, 65 technicians that we've got out there, some of the franchisees have got people working for and with them, are doing a great job day in, day out. There are areas still available. We've mapped out that we can get to about 102, 103 franchises in the UK. So I hope you've checked with Gail if your area is available. Don't despair if it's not, because sometimes resales do come up. We've had 3 or 4 resales in the last couple of years. People wanted to move on because you don't have to come into this for life. It's a business. You come in, you might achieve your goals, and then move on. That's absolutely fine. But if you haven't checked with Gail whether your area is available, please do that, and she'll let you know pretty much straight away. Now, I've got six people here in the head office helping me out, and Phil Shaw, our technical director, who's out remotely in the field. So we've got head office team of 7, and through that, in fact, it'll be 8 next week because we're taking on a new employee. I forgot about our new employee. So we've got sales and marketing, business support and mentoring. We've got customer services. We've got finance. We've got technical, and all of that is covered in the support, because having some help in business, which can be a lonely place, is very important. And I said earlier, you could do it yourself, but we've got website management, we've got other marketing management, direct mail opportunities, we've got the operational system that manages a business. There's a whole mishmash of stuff that goes on in this head office, which means that as a franchisee, most of what you are looking at and thinking about and spending your day concentrating on is getting some new customers, which we help with, obviously, and delighting the customers that you're servicing and working with, because they will tell people you do a great job. They're going to tell people, we're going to put it on our website, and we get people every day now who tell us they chose our guys because of the brilliant testimonials and reviews that they've got on the website. It does make a difference, and it is really important. We are BFA accredited. The British Franchise Association is a very important part of franchising. It means for you that we are an ethical franchise, if you like. We're not here today, gone tomorrow franchise. We're here for the long haul. Means we've had our franchise agreement checked. It's been written by a lawyer, so it's full of big words. And of course, lawyers charge by the kilogram, I think. So it's not a small document, the franchise agreement. Nothing to be frightened of. It's a document that protects our brand, our business, and our franchisees. So if you become a franchisee, obviously you want to know that your business is protected from somebody doing something dumb, and that's exactly what the franchise agreement does. So although it will look, when you see it, if you get to that point, that it is a very weighty, very legally document that's heavily biased in favour of Pestforce, the franchisor, you're absolutely right. It is. But it's there for a reason, to protect our current franchisees from people doing something dumb, and to protect all our future franchisees. Now, do people do dumb things? Not deliberately, but things do happen that we need to take action on, and that's basically what the franchise agreement is about. But like all contracts, it sits in a drawer until it's needed, because you don't manage people by contract. You manage people by relationship, and having a good working relationship that ticks along, because everybody's trying to go in the same direction. Everybody's pushing the same way and has the same ultimate aims and goals: to deliver great service and to make money. At the end of the day, I won't lie to you. We're all here to make money, but great service always comes before making money. But great service will mean that you do make decent money. So you may or may not know some of this stuff. Pest control in the UK alone is worth £367 million a year. It's grown at about 5 or 6% a year. And our aim is to get as much of that as we possibly can. Now, that doesn't mean we chase every piece of work and every contract, because what we very definitely believe in is that all our guys are experts. They deserve to be paid like experts, and that means we're rarely the cheapest. So whilst we are growing and doing really well and customers like what we're doing, we don't take every job because, frankly, some jobs are just not worth the reward that they offer. Now, that's an interesting fact that a whole bunch of councils don't currently have an in-house service, and the British Pest Control Association did this survey in 2016, so it might even be more than 35%. And of those that do, only 1 in 15, so I don't know how many councils there are in the UK, let's say there was 300, because that makes the sums easy. 35% of those 300, which is about 100, will offer in-house pest control, and of those, only 7 will offer free treatments. You can see then that the business opportunity is great. So not many people are doing it for free through the council. If you can get hold of a council pest controller, you're often waiting a long time. Stories I've heard from other sources, this is not first-hand, this is second-hand, is that council pest controllers often have lots of jobs on per day, so they can't really spend the time and often don't spend the time analysing, assessing, creating a decent treatment plan. They end up doing a lot of calls, which means they're kind of skimping a little bit, and that's great for us because we do follow the council sometimes quite a lot. I won't lie to you, we follow some of the big boys as well when they haven't done as good a job as they might have done, and they are great for us. Those big pest control companies, they don't offer the greatest of personal services. They don't offer great value for money in some people's eyes, and so that opens up a whole world of opportunity for us as well. And then you look at things. We're actually we are the problem that's bred rats and to a lesser extent mice in our houses and in our work areas. We're actually quite a slovenly race. This might be a little bit of an exaggeration, but you know what I mean. There's lots of areas you can walk around most towns. You can see bins overflowing. You can see mess and rubbish accumulating, and that's manna from heaven for your average rat who wants somewhere to hide. He wants somewhere to store his food and get food and bring it back to, and he wants a source of fresh water. Give that to a rat and he's as happy as a pig in poop. So you can imagine that a lot of the problems that cause rat infestations and mice infestations are our own fault. But we won't stop doing it. We won't stop overfilling our bins. We won't stop piling up rubbish around the backs of shops. Councils, fortnightly bin collections. There's a council up in North Wales that have just said they're going to monthly bin collections. Monthly bin collections, can you imagine it? Birmingham City Council refuse collections were on strike for about 4 months in the late summer or autumn, and the place was a mess. So you can imagine when you're planning to do monthly bin collections, it's going to be horrendous. And second-hand furniture is quite interesting. Houses of multiple occupation, again, bed bugs, fleas, all of these things are pretty much our own fault, but great for us because the business opportunity is there. Now, a whole number of our franchisees turn over decent money. At least one, and I haven't checked the figures recently, but I suspect 3 turn over more than 100,000, which is fantastic. It's a mixture of contracts and job work. Now, contracts is a bit like your sort of subscription service. They pay you every month. You go and do the service, they pay. It's a bit like Netflix. You pay your monthly subscription, you get access to films. Just the same here. You pay your monthly subscription, you get your pest control visit probably every 5 or 6 weeks. That, for me, is a great model on which to base your business. You want that recurring revenue so that you can get to a point where your basic costs in your business are covered by your contract work. Absolutely fabulous. Because then you've done all the hard work to get your contracts, and the national contracts that we put on top add to that. And so you don't have to work very hard to get the phone to ring to meet your business plan. Or if you do, it's great extra cash, great extra revenue that comes in. You probably reduce your marketing costs the more the more contracts you have and the less job work you need. you massively reduce your job work requirement, which means you need to advertise less, which means you can be more picky about the jobs. Or you can go the other way, which several of our guys are doing at the moment, and you can take an extra guy on into your area, add that revenue, add profit, and start to turn your business from a single operator man and van into a management franchise where you've got 2, 3, who knows, maybe 4 or 5 vans out on the road. And that's when you start to not only take a decent amount of cash out of the business on a monthly basis, you're building wealth, you're building a personal business wealth for you and your family for the future. Because just to answer a question that I had earlier on today from somebody who rang in, we're going to ask you to invest some money in this to do this, but it's not like you write that money off. There is a sale opportunity in the franchise, so you do have that opportunity to sell your franchise at some future point. So really, you're investing your money in with an expectation of taking most of it, all of it, or more than all of it back in the future when you've built your business to a great level where somebody's prepared to pay you money for taking your business on. Happy days. That's about what we work on gross profit, more or less, until we see you and we talk a bit more detail. It's going to be there or thereabouts. That's enough. That's close enough. Year 1, those are the expected revenue numbers. Year 2, and then year 3. The sky's really the limit with year 3. Year 2 and year 3 are the times where if you are going to go multi-van, you've got your business established, you've got known. That's the time to kick on and really start to add some revenue to your what I would call your personal bank account. Your wealth, your family's wealth, and the ability to do things you really want. But it doesn't happen overnight. You're not buying a job, you're building a business. So you've got to have some expectation that it's going to take a little bit of time. We will do business planning with you, and we'll talk about working capital, which is the sort of pot you need in your business bank account to make sure that you can weather out any fluctuations in demand. But we've got some good knowledge now of how what the business does, how it works, how people do in their first year, so we can be pretty accurate with our predictions. So we'll do that with you and make sure that you fully understand what the numbers look like before you get into this, because at the end of the day, we don't want you to come in with too little cash, because you come in with too little cash, you're going to start making decisions based on the cash that's in your bank account rather than the needs of the business. So we all want you to be making decisions that are right for the business, because you need to be doing the right things that will bring the cash in, which might mean investing some money in advertising. It might mean taking on an admin assistant, all sorts of things that you need to think about to make sure your business runs well. And a lack of cash will kill any business. Biggest single reason why businesses fold in the UK, 99% of times, not because they've got a bad business, not because they haven't got any good sales, not because they're not doing a great job, simply because they run out of cash. And I don't want that to happen on my watch. The good news is that this business has low fixed costs. You have to buy a van, white, silver's acceptable. You have to put fuel in your van, and you're going to have to buy some stuff from the pest control suppliers eventually. And I'll talk a bit more about that later. So that and your own personal expenses are the significant costs in your business. So we've got a good model with a business plan. We are able to access funding through the government startup loans. So if you haven't got all of the money you think you might need, don't despair. Gail's able to help and talk to you about how that works. You will need some. You can't borrow it all, I'm afraid. But if you've got enough to get the deposit together, then you're pretty much on the way. Now, that funding takes 6 to 8 weeks to access, and you've got to have a half decent credit report, but there is an opportunity there for us to get that moving for you. The types of customers are almost endless. I've just noted a few there, but there are the domestic customer. We've got domestic customers. We've got all of these customers, at least one of each of these, we've got hundreds of these. Retail outlets, I haven't really put down there. The high street retail shops, takeaways, restaurants, bars, clubs, pubs, you name it. If it's got a building or if it's got a facility of some description, it has the potential to be a customer for us. So, there are hundreds and thousands of customers out there. What we do particularly well is help you to get in amongst them, find them, market yourself to them, and get them to pay you, because that's, at the end of the day, the biggest thing. You could be the best pest controller in the world. Doesn't matter if nobody knows about you and nobody's willing to pay you. Doesn't matter how good you are. So, as I said earlier on, do you want to deliver great customer service? Are you capable of planning your own diary? And have you got that work ethic that means, on a frosty morning at 5:30, when you've got to get out of bed and defrost the van to go and check your mole traps at one of your contracts? Who's going to make you do it? Not me. Only you, with your intrinsic desire to make this business work, will make you do that and make you go and do that job. Marketing isn't everybody's cup of tea. Not everybody is good at marketing, but it's important. Local marketing, using our help to market yourself in your local area to the right people at the right time with the right messages, is all very important. We do pretty much a whole day on that during the training, so you can see how important marketing your business is. You've got to deal with the public. They can be a pain in the backside, I won't lie to you. They can be wrong, they can be rude, they can be unreasonable, but they are your customer. And sometimes you have to bite your bottom lip and just carry on, do the job, take the money, and walk away. But then 99% of your customers are going to be lovely. Reason being, they've called you because they want and need you. They need your help, they need your service, and they're delighted to get rid of the problem. The disease and the distress and the damage that pests can cause is a massive thing, and especially the distress. Women in particular, and I don't mean to be sexist, but I notice a lot of times when I talk to women, the rodent problem in particular is a big psychological barrier to them. So having Mr. Pestforce man come over the hill on his white Charger, it's actually a white transit van, but it's close enough, is a great relief. So they're always lovely. You'll always get a cup of tea and a biscuit, and there's always time for a chat and a bit of a joke. And we've got a mix of customers, domestic and commercial and retail and all the others. So no 2 days are the same. It's bloody brilliant. There is legislation though, so you do have to follow the guidelines. You do have to do it the way we tell you to do it, I'm afraid. If you're a maverick, if you've got some wacky ideas about how you think you might do it, which doesn't really fit with our plan, this isn't for you. If you were the guy at school that never followed the rules, if you were, it just isn't going to happen, because I've got 60 odd other franchisees to protect, and frankly, somebody who's a maverick who doesn't follow the rules isn't going to fit into the system. Now, that's not to say we don't like ideas and we don't change stuff. Of course we do, but there's a way and a means of getting that message across. We actually like being challenged by franchisees to do things better, to do things differently, because it gives us something to think about, gives us food for thought, and makes us do better. And which of us doesn't want to do that? I always want to do better, and I know, because my wife tells me every day, that I don't have all the good ideas. So having 60 odd franchisees out there thinking about our business all the time is great for me. There you go. Just a bit of reinforcement. And I love this quote. This is Henry Ford. If you think you can, or if you think you can't do something, then you're probably right. I've got an 8-year-old little girl, and we've banned can't in our house because she said to me the other day, saying, I can't do this maths. Well, you can. You just need to work a bit harder at it. It's all about the attitude of mind and making sure that you've got a positive outlook, a positive attitude, and that translates into success. Here's a bunch of guys who have joined, some recently, some a little bit previously. Michael on the top left, been with us about 14 months. Who's that ugly mug in the middle? Gary O'Connor, he's been with us about 18 months. Sean Banks, about the same. And George Buchan's been with us about 4 years. Now, George is an interesting character. He runs Pestforce Edinburgh. And I was talking to him the other day and found out he's got 160, that's correct, 160 contracts. So you can imagine that George is doing pretty nicely with his contract work, and his job work on the top is a nice little icing on the cake. So you can see there, I mean, Gary in North London hit the ground absolutely sprinting. He made Usain Bolt look like an absolute tortoise. 20,000 in his first 3 months. Absolutely fabulous. Brilliant. Opportunities for growth and expansion are huge. Sean Banks said that 18 months ago. And as of Friday, I think it was, or Thursday, he'd put an advert in the British Pest Control Association website for his third technician. So as you can see, the opportunities for growth and expansion are actually huge. 3 technicians in the West London area. Fantastic. And Sean again, you'll see him again in a minute on video. Love the training. Jason, great training. Really helpful and friendly. That's nice to hear as well. The team here are very professional, but they're very personable, because we're not your big faceless corporation. We're not, I don't know, let's say, we're not a Rent-A-Kill. We're not a Mighty Pest Control. We're not an Ecolab. You know, we're a smaller business that can do the bigger jobs, but everybody's an individual, and we treat people accordingly. It's absolutely fabulous. It's, you know, to say it's a family is probably overstating a little bit, but you know, it's got that personal feel. I know all the franchisees personally. I speak to a lot of them daily. I've probably spoken to 5 or 6 of them today during the course of the day, and having that link and that ability to chat and talk things through is brilliant. I love it. It's good for me, and I think it's good for them too. And there we go. I talked about that repeating income model, which is so very important. And you add on job work on the top. That's, to me, that's the essence of a solid business. If you do that, you're building an asset. If you just rely on job work, you're building a business. Of course you are, and that business will have some worth, but most of that will be enshrined in what they call goodwill. So, you know, it's historically you've done this amount of work, and it's reasonable to expect that level of work would continue. But if you've got somebody paying you every month an amount of, that's absolute gold dust, because that is recurring revenue that adds value to your business. Getting and keeping customers is massively important, and you will open doors with one-off jobs. So don't get me wrong, quite often the guys will go to a job, and it might be a rodent job at an office, or a rodent job at a store or something, and they'll come away with a contract because it just makes sense for the owner of the business, and it makes sense for us. It just works really well. So one of the guys upsold a rodent job the other day. He doubled the value of his rodent job with what we call a proofing job. And now he's going to double it again with an annual contract. So out of that job, he will have taken a significant amount of cash already this year, and that will recur every year now as long as he keeps the contract. And you keep contracts by doing a great job. And guess what? Our guys do a great job because they care. And like you will, if you're a franchisee, you will really care about each and every customer, because you want them to remain a customer, be a customer again, or say nice things about you to other potential customers. Not rocket science. We do a lot of marketing. We do Google AdWords, we do website management, we blog, we send stuff, we do social media. A lot of people come here and say, I'm a complete idiot on social media. Me too, don't worry about it. It's something that's trainable, it's learnable. It's not something you have to be 23 to be able to do. You can learn it. It's not rocket science. And like all of these things, little and often is much better than lots and infrequently. And we track and measure it, because marketing has to pay. You can't just do marketing and hope. Because how many things are on that list? 2, 4, 6, 7. 7 things on that list. If one of them is capturing 80% of your customers, guess what? You're going to really focus on that. And you can only really focus on that and know that if it's been tracked and measured. And that's something that that we'll do on your behalf and help you with to keep you up to date. It's quite a lot about building a business. Can I earn a good living? Do you get me all the work? These are questions that I hear from people who come to one-to-ones particularly. Can you guarantee turnover? And the answer is, of course you can earn a good living. I've got 60 franchisees out there earning a good living, but we don't get you all the work. We'll get you some work, but we will make you visible. We'll make you get you seen. We'll help you to get seen. You'll do a lot of work. You'll have to go and good old-fashioned talking to people. I'll get you out of your comfort zone doing some stuff that you wouldn't normally want to do, talking to groups of people potentially. And these are the things that if you feel uncomfortable doing something, say you were talking to a group of 10 fish and chip shop owners who just happen to be having a fish and chip symposium in your local town, and you felt a bit uncomfortable about doing it, that's exactly where you want to be, because I can guarantee you that no other pest controller will be doing that. So just getting a little bit out of your comfort zone is a massive, massive boost to opportunity. At the end of the day, my success is part of your success, and your success is part of my success. Now, we're all in it together, is what I'm saying here. I've got a team here and an office here to run, so that's where most of the money that you put into our business goes. I don't drive a Ferrari. In fact, I drive a Volkswagen Golf, if you must know. So I'm not getting personally wealthy out of this. This is about building something that we're proud of, building something that's sustainable, building something that will deliver cash during the month and personal wealth at the end of it for us, and especially for you, because the more successful you are, the better it is for us. And it's not just about the fees and all that kind of stuff. It's you'll hear from some franchisees in a minute or two, because they've been successful and have enjoyed everything and it's been great. They tell people, and that's better than me telling you, frankly. I can tell you till I'm blue in the face how brilliant it is, and it is, but you want to hear it from somebody who's done it, somebody who's taken the plunge, somebody who a while ago was sitting in your seat thinking, oh my God, I've got to go back to the factory tomorrow, I've got to get on the road and do 14 sales calls or whatever it is you've got to do. I really don't want to do this anymore. They've been in your shoes. They know how it is. They've made that jump, and you'll hear from some of them in a minute or so. We can't cover everything in 3 weeks, but we get you going. You are ready to go at 3 weeks. There is ongoing training. There is in-year training, if you like, however you want to describe it. We are subscribed to the Pest Control Continuing Professional Development system called Basis Prompt, which means you have to get so many points every year to continue to be accredited, and you do that by attending training events. So not only are we training you initially, having training during the year, but we're also making sure that you're training and continuously professionally developing yourself. Customers love it, because you never stop learning. There are pest controllers who've been doing it for 15, 20 years. They're still learning stuff. It's a mix of internal and external people. We've got some really good partners who come and help us, particularly with the technical aspects of our training, and that's externally accredited by the Royal Society for the Protection of Health, the RSPH, which is a good thing. We also do some specialist training. We do that on an ad hoc, sort of almost on demand, but we put courses on throughout the year. But you've got to get stuck in. If there's something you want to do, woodworm treatment, bird control, whatever it is, flag it up and tell us, and we'll look to put something together. We have got massive experience in the network, and at the end of the previous slide, you saw something about could I do it on my own? Well, of course you could, but one of the great things about joining the network is we have got massive experience. If you think that we've got 60 odd pest controllers out there Even if, and I could look up the average length of time they've been in pest control, but if you imagine most of them have been in, the average is 4 years that they've been in pest control. That's 250 years worth of pest control experience you can tap into being part of a network. Where else can you get that? All right, there are groups on social media, there are groups on Facebook and whatever, but really, where can you get 250 years worth of pest control knowledge that wants you to succeed, wants to help you, and wants you to do well? And we've got great supply networks, 3 main suppliers, and they give us great training, sales, support, offers. They support us at our national conferences, which we do twice a year, and really they're just brilliant. I can't talk highly enough about them. You've probably seen this already because Gail has got this in her brochure, a prospectus. You might have seen it online, but these are all the things that we deliver as part of our agreement with you. Initial equipment and stock. That's initial equipment is great. Stock is aims to get you going for about 3 months, so that combined with your no service fees for the first 3 months means that we're trying to give you the best possible start. You're not going to pay for any marketing in the first 3 months either, because we've got that covered. So really, all that is there designed to get you off to the best possible start, and it does work. We've got a good track record of getting people off to a great start and hitting their numbers in their business plan in year 1. We've got some geeky stuff. We've got a bespoke system which helps you to run your jobs, keeps track of your jobs, manages your diary to a certain extent. It's a to-do list kind of based system. Keeps track of who's paid you, who hasn't paid you, sends invoices, sends all the documentation that you need to send to your customer, health and safety stuff, safety data sheets for products. It's brilliant. We've spent a shed load of money on it, but it's money well spent because it's making our business stand out from the others. I was at a client, a potential client. They're not yet a client, but I think they will be, yesterday. And this was one of the things that they were most impressed with, how we communicate with so how head office communicates with the technicians operationally, and how that communicates and keeps the client in the loop on what's going on their sites, especially a multi-site operation. It's fabulous. In your life as a pest control franchisee, you've got to do pretty much 4 things really, and getting the balance between those 4 things. You're marketing your business, telling people you're out there and that you're available for them to pay you great deals of money for pest control services. Sales, and actually making the sale and getting the appointment and getting in there and doing the job. Actually doing the job, and then doing the finance and admin. Every job has got a bit of finance and admin associated with it, but we'll talk to you about how to get those ratios right, how to make sure you're doing it properly, how the ops system will help you to deliver your health and safety compliance, how it will help to augment your customer care and your reviews and all the great things that you can add to your business in marketing by doing a great job and delivering fantastic customer service. So that's there's a good session on that as part of training. Yes, money. Well, there's no getting away from it. We'll do a business plan with you and tell you how much you're going to be able to earn, but importantly, tell you how much working capital you need to bring into your business. There is an investment, as I talked about earlier on, and I'll just finish on working capital. It does depend on you to a certain extent, and that what I mean by that is how much you want to take out of the business on a monthly basis. So that defines how much you need to put in working capital, all those things, which will become clear if we do talk to you on a one-to-one basis. I promise. Here's the franchise fee, £16,500 plus VAT. As I said before, look at it as an investment. You don't ever really write that money off because there's always value in the franchise that you've invested in. Never really disappears, doesn't disappear into a black hole. You kind of almost think of it as a deposit, if you like, because at some point in the future you should be able to pull that money back out in some way, shape or form on a resale basis. It is a 5-year franchise agreement. If you don't want to be in a 5-year agreement, then this isn't for you. Doesn't mean you can't get out early. You can't just walk away because it's a 5-year agreement, but you can sell. And you can sell after 3 years. You can sell after 2 years. You can sell after 2 weeks if you want. But you've got an agreement. It is a contract. It's a legal document. It's binding on both of our sides. So we have to provide you the support for 5 years, and you have to do what you need to do for 5 years. Renewed at the end of 5 years, you don't pay £16,500 again. You don't even pay £165 again. We don't charge anything for renewal, but it is subject to whatever the franchise agreement looks like at that time. It might be slightly different. There might be some changes to it over the 5-year period that you're with us. And obviously it's subject to us all agreeing that it's a good idea. So make of that what you will. I haven't turned anybody down yet. Let's put it like that. You get a defined territory. We get one franchisee per territory. Territories are designed to be big enough so that you can make a good living and meet your business plan. Obviously, no point trying to do something that doesn't meet your business plan, or else we'd look like chumps. But it's not too big. We don't want you to be, even in rural areas, if we can avoid it, driving for hours between appointments, because time on the road isn't time earning money. So don't come in if you do come and see us, don't think that because you haven't got half of Northern England that you're not going to be able to make a living. We're pretty skilled at making sure that this works for our franchisees. We've got the sort of pattern right now. Right now, I had it right for a while, but we've got the pattern right, and we kind of know what we're doing in making sure you've got the right size territory. Doesn't mean you can't increase your territory at some point if an adjacent territory is available or comes up for resale. So going back to what I was saying earlier on, if you've got the ambition to have 4, 5, 6, 7 vans on the road, brilliant, love it, absolutely fantastic, and we'll help you do that as best we possibly can, because growth plans are part of business planning and the franchise agreement, and that's what working capital is. So I've got a couple of videos. I'm not going to play all of Steve's video. If your sound is a bit low at the moment, he speaks very softly, nice Northern Irish fella. He speaks quite softly in this video, but I'm going to play the first 2 minutes of Steve's video so you can listen to what he's got to say. Oops, that's my fat finger. Sorry about that. So yeah, Steve talks about there the emotions and the feelings of a bit scary, but it all turned out well. He talked about 2 weeks there, and that's 2 weeks of training that you do here with us at the head office. The third week is a week shadowing a franchisee local to your territory, or as otherwise agreed. We give you a little bit of money to cover your expenses in that third week, just to make sure that you can get around, and if you need to stay over with the other franchisee or near to the other franchisee, you can. I'm going to play Sean's video now as well, just for a couple of minutes. This one's got subtitles, so if you are struggling to hear it, then at least this one's got subtitles.
Hi, my name's Sean. I live in Binfield near Bracknell. I've got a partner and 3 children at home. I'm a fireman at Heathrow. I've been there 15 years and I became the Pestforce franchisee 6 months ago for Pestforce. The reason I looked at Pestforce initially is mainly because of the amount of time I have off as a fireman and work well with my shift plan. Support from Pestforce is everything that I need to go out there and be successful and do my job and make it good. The initial training was 2 weeks. The first week of it was with John Sage, who's a gentleman, basically an instructor on the technical side of pest control for Pestforce. That first week was really interesting. Gave me everything I needed to know as a foundation to get going and be successful. What's really good for me is there's several other firemen that I work with that are now franchisees. So I've got a good support network there. But aside from that, you then got that technical expert who's still employed by Pestforce, who gives you that technical support and that real technical detail that you might need to get on that spot. So 6 months along the road there, I'm definitely making more money than ever thought I would do, certainly at this stage. I am getting far more work than I thought I would get. And last but not least, I'm not busy. I'm employed actually doing training. I'm running my franchise generally 2 days a week, so I'm only committing 2 days every week to the franchise. But within that 2 days, last month, as an example, I cleared £5,000 sales. If you were looking for a good part-time income and certainly a good full-time income, Pestforce is a good place to start.
Now, I wanted to show you that because Sean's obviously a great success story. We don't generally now encourage. Sean joined us about 2 years ago, as I said. We don't encourage a part-time approach to the business because although it's possible, it's not optimal. Slightly different with a couple of the firemen from Heathrow. They get their shift patterns. They get 4 days of days, 4 days of nights, I think it is, and basically they sleep most of that, from what I can work out. And then they get 8 days off. So their ability to put time into Pestforce is pretty good and not dissimilar to a full-time operation. And it's Sean, who I mentioned earlier, has got the guy who's been working with him for about 1.5 years now, and he's got so much work that he needs another one. So you can see that the opportunities are there to expand, and they certainly are. And he's not alone in doing it, which is great. So pest control isn't going away. It's a man-made problem, and it's a problem that we are doing really well to address. We're getting more customers. We are busier than we've been. Year on year, we seem to get busier and busier. We're winning more national jobs, which is great. Testament to the great people that the great franchisees out on the ground doing such a great job. People say so many nice things about us that other people want us to work with them. As I said before, you'll start. It'll be you. It'll be your van, and it will. There is an opportunity for it to become bigger as time goes on and turn into more of a management franchise, as displayed by Sean and several of the other franchisees out there at the moment. Get as much recurring monthly revenue as you can and top it up with the job work. I think I've made that clear about how it best works. It's a people business. If you don't like people, frankly, it's the wrong business for you, because you're going to deal with all sorts of people in all types of situations and scenarios. That's the great thing about it. It's varied. It's different. People are different. You've got to be able to treat as they say, the Earl and the chimney sweep with the same respect. So you've got to be able to communicate at all levels to all people and manage some tricky people sometimes. But as well as the odd tricky customers are just a joy generally, because we're delivering a great service. the guys are delivering something that that they need to get out of a spot, to get rid of a rodent, to clear flies out of the house, whatever it is. And frankly, 99.9% of the time, they're bloody grateful, and it's brilliant. We make sure that you are ready to go out there with the training. The third week is massively important. I can't overstate that. That week shadowing another franchisee just adds a little bit of context to everything that you've done in the classroom. Absolutely invaluable. Brilliant. Love it. We're here to support and guide. We're here to give you a cuddle when you think it's going a bit tough. We're here perhaps to give you a little jolt when you need to get out there and get amongst it a bit more. But basically, we're here to inspire, motivate, and support our franchisees. Make sure they achieve their business success. What we are here to do. We're here to recruit. We're here to train and support franchisees, monitor performance, particularly against business plan, communicate with them, and last of all, to care. We really do care about our franchisees. Sounds trite. It sounds a bit bleh. But honestly, as I said before, your success is our success, so why wouldn't we care? Said that before, you're not buying a job. This isn't something that you come into expecting to be able to pick up massive earnings straight away. You've got to build something, but while you're building it, you'll be able to take a wage and earn a living out of it, and you're creating something of value, an asset that you can trade in later on for somebody else's money, which would be fabulous. When you speak to Gail, ask her about how John Stevens got on with his resale, because that's a great case study. And really, I started off the webinar a wee while back talking about, is this right for you? Are you right for the business? Are you the kind of guy who's determined to succeed? Do you need telling to get up and get out and do stuff? Or are you the kind of guy that just gets on and does it because that's innate in you, that's part of your character, it's part of your build, part of the work ethic that you've got inside you? Have you got something to work hard for? For me, it's all about providing my family with the best I can, and you'll each have your own motivations, and only you will know those until you tell me when I ask you, because I want to know that motivation. I want to know what's going to drive you. I want to know what's going to make you want to be the very best pest control businessman that you possibly can be. And I'll help you. We'll help you. The team will help you. The other franchisees will help you. Our suppliers will help you. Everybody's gunning for you. Not gunning for you is the wrong word. Everybody's looking out for you. Everybody's rooting for you, trying to help you do and be the very best you can be in the Pestforce family. Think about why you're looking at franchising. Go back to that and make sure it's for you. Make sure that you're following the processes, following the brand guidelines, following the franchise agreement. Make sure that's all for you. And while I've talked about money and the ability to earn, the ability to define and build an asset over time, it's not just about the money. You've got to enjoy it as well. I've been self-employed now for nearly 11 years. I love it. I love being able to control my own destiny in terms of what I do and when I do it. If I needed to go and watch my little girl play netball this afternoon, I could have done that for an hour, but I'd probably be working till 8, 9 o'clock tonight to make up for it. And it's that kind of control. This isn't a lifestyle business as such, but you do have a significant amount of control about what you do and when you do it. My aspiration when I started being self-employed was to become unemployable, and I suspect I've done that. I don't think anybody would take me back, but I really love being self-employed, working with other like-minded individuals, people who are passionate, and people who want to succeed. It's got to be right for your family as well. If your wife's just had twins, or your husband's just started a new job in the Outer Hebrides, it might not be the right fit for you and your family at this time. So I would expect by the time you come and see us on a one-to-one that you have sat down and talked about it as a family and discussed if it's the right thing for you all. And in fact, we welcome spouses into the one-to-one, which makes it a 2-to-2 or a 2-to-1. please feel free to bring spouse or partner or whoever it happens to be that is going to be part of the decision-making process. Works really well, actually, because they've often got questions that that you might not have. They've got fears and worries that you might not have, and it enables us to answer them and helps you to make the decision, and obviously helps us in that decision-making process as well. Yeah, you've got to ask the right questions. You've got to really dig into this, make sure you understand it, nuts, bolts, and everything, so that you know you're doing the right thing. But you'll never know what it's like until you try it. Say that about a lot of things. If you've got any questions, and I haven't answered them today, do please drop Gail a line. You can get her at gail@pestforce.co.uk. That's gail@pestforce.co.uk. She's got a telephone number, which if I wasn't so stupid, I'd probably remember. She might even be listening and might be able to put a piece of paper up to the window and let me see what the telephone number is. But Gail's the linchpin. She is the driving force behind the recruitment, and she'll look after you. And she's just dashed in with the telephone number, which is 01491 528 960. So that's 01491 528 960. Thank you, Gail. True to my word, here's the offer. I said there'd be an offer if you stuck around to the end of the webinar. And true to my word, here it is. If you book a one-to-one with us in the next month after being on this webinar, and you subsequently become a franchisee, we'll stick an extra £1,000 into your startup marketing. We already put a lot behind your startup marketing. We put £1,500 into your startup marketing. So that extra 1,000 will really turbocharge what happens in the first 3 to 4 months of your business with us. We've only got 3 of these to give away. So act fast if you want to get one, and drop Gail a line, or find her through that phone number I gave you earlier. I have got an extra special March training offer, which I mentioned at the very outset, which Gail's not quite bullied me, but twisted my arm into putting in. We have got 1 slot left on the March training. Now, I'm not going to push you into joining or anything like that, but if you already know that this could be for you, if March the 12th, which is 7 weeks away, not quite, 6.5 weeks away, is a potential for you to join the business, then we will discount the franchise fee from $16,500 to $14,000 plus VAT. I can only do 1 of those, and I can only do that at this webinar. We won't be doing that again. That's a one-time only deal for this year. That will not happen again, because we generally don't have a problem filling the training slots. We don't this time, to be fair, but we have got 1 training slot left. Somebody deferred from March to June, so that's thrown up a slot and enabled me to give you that extra special offer. So there it is. That's the end of the webinar. I do appreciate you all taking the time to look in and to listen to what I've got to say. I'm not just saying this. It is a great business. It does make people makes you laugh, makes you cry, and the guys have a great time. They earn some good money. They're building an asset that has some value in the future. And really, if it's half of an interest to you, you really need to get on the phone to Gail, book in a one-to-one, and let's have a chat and see if it's right for you. Thanks very much. This is Paul Smith, and I'm signing off.